Generally, guys, forget that the teacher will start from anatomy and finish with physiology. No, you studied it before. I will speak about topography. I will remind you that this is organ of the digestive tract. I will remind you that from here we have not only the digestion, but we have also absorption. I will remind you that in the stomach we have the storage of the food. It must be stocked here to be specially influenced by the acid environment of the stomach and specially influenced by some ferments which is produced inside of the stomach. I will remind you that anatomically it has the 4 big parts. It is the cardia, it is fundus, it is body and pylorus. I will remind you that it has 2 margins. One is loop to upwards, we call it lesser curvature. Second loop to down, we call it greater. I will remind you that it has generally 3 layers: ceruloscoid, muscular layer, which has 3 layers, and mucous submucous layers. I will remind you that it has 2 walls. One is loop to you, we call anterior wall, and second is loop to the backside, we call the posterior wall. I will remind you that it has 2 apertures. Upper one we call cardial or entrance, lower one we call the inferior or exit, pyloric aperture. That is what you study in the anatomy. Also in the physiology you study type of the glands, which we have in the stomach, regulation of the productive activity, how secrete, how gastric, influence into the production of the different kind of the substances by the stomach. So all these questions you need to revise, but all these questions is not included in my subject. And this is what I remind you, I do only because I am very kind to you. But now we will start to study topography of the stomach. What does it mean? Holotopy, syntopy, and skeletopy. Also added the vascularization, innervation, and the ligaments of the stomach. That is finally all topography of the stomach. Let's start from the syntopy of the stomach. I forget to take today for your model. That's why I will put my hand instead of my stomach. And let's imagine which structures touch to the stomach. From upwards, stomach touch to 2 structures. In more left side, that is the diaphragm. In more right side, it is visceral surface of the left lobe of the liver. Very well. To downwards, stomach is touched to the polar, mesopolar, and transversal. Into left to the stomach, we have mainly the spleen, with its ligaments, which is connected stomach with spleen, gastrosplenic ligament. In the right side of the stomach, we have the lesser omentum, which is connected stomach with the liver, with the hilum of the liver. In front of our stomach, there are again 2 structures. It is visceral surface of the left lobe of liver and anterior abdominal wall. Behind of the stomach, we have bursa aumentalis. Behind of bursa, we have the pancreas, we have the greater vessels, superior, inferior mesenteric vessels, which I draw now for you. And left behind of stomach, we have the left kidney and left suprarenal gland. Right, no, only left, because it is asymmetrical structure. That is the syntopy of stomach, skeletotopy of stomach. We must to make skeletotopy first of all for 2 apertures and for 2 margins of the stomach. That is necessary from surgical point of the view. Now look here, please. I put my fingers instead of these 2 apertures. My right, the left finger show for you the entrance or cardial aperture, where it is located. To find it, you must find the sternum. And approximately 2 centimeters left to the sternum on the level of the 7 cartilage of 7 left rib will be projection of entrance of the stomach here. This is my 7th rib cartilage. Where is located my pyloric aperture? Now I find midline of the sternum, and approximately on the midline or 1 centimeter right to it, on the level of 8 rib cartilage. That's an entrance, it is 7 rib cartilage. Exit, it is 8 rib cartilage. That's why this is the distance between my empty stomach, 2 apertures. Between these apertures, we have 2 margins. Inferiorly look greater curvature, superiorly look lesser curvature. All these skeletotopes which I describe, of course, for empty stomach, because you understand that the stomach is full by the food, all these positions will be changed. Your greater curvature will become to umbilicus and little bit below. But for empty stomach, greater curvature projected strongly by bicostal line. Bicostal line which is connected the inferior points of costal arches to each other. Lesser curvature we project it in another way. Look at please, angle between my bicostal line and right costal arch, and I draw bisector of it. Once again, bisector of angle between bicostal line and the right costal arch. This is all skeletotopy of the stomach. Now let's come to next point, holotopy, projection into the surface. Stomach, it is one of the unique organs which is projected into two regions. Another unique organ, it is liver and it is spleen. You remember for liver we say partly thorax, partly abdomen. Samely for stomach. Fundus of stomach completely projected in your thoracic region. By the way, this is highest point of your stomach. During deep expiration, because stomach connected with diaphragm, yeah, we have phrenicogastric ligament, which is connected these structures to each. Yeah.
So it's connected with the heart, because that's why it's called heart.
Absolutely. What does it mean connection with the heart? It is connected with diaphragm, not by the heart. Heart is located above the diaphragm, inside of the pericardium. Border between thoracic cavity and between abdominal cavity is diaphragm. Above the diaphragm, you have pericardium, which is connected heart.
Or just because the name? Because the name, cardiac. The
name of what? Cardial portion?
Cardiac, yeah.
Cardial portion we call cardia. Cardia, it means uppermost, most important, highest one. Cardia. But generally, yeah, it is near the heart, because border between stomach and heart, it is diaphragm, but it doesn't connect it. But for example, some pains from the stomach, for example, especially cardial portion ulcers, which is located in posterior wall, can be projected into the thoracic cavity. Why? Because they innervated by same vagus. Yeah, about it I will say. Vice versa, some pains from heart, especially posterior wall infarcts, can be projected into abdominal region. And that will make the problem for the specialist to understand. Is it the stomach problem or is it the heart problem? Of course, you must make electroencephalography, electrocardiography, to understand heart is normally or not normal. You understand? Let's continue. That's a highest point of your stomach during deep expiration can come up to here. Look, I approximately show the nipple region. It is fourth intercostal space by middle clavicular line. Up to here, your stomach can be lifted. If you will make deep expiration, diaphragm will go to upwards, stomach mechanically with the diaphragm will go to upwards. On the anterior abdominal wall, stomach projected in two regions. It is proper epigastral region. Here is projected body of your stomach. And it is left hypochondric region. Here we projected greater curvature of the stomach. Now let's speak about the ligaments of the stomach and supplement of it. Now look in the picture, please. Here it's greatly visible. The stomach has several ligaments. By the way, all these ligaments which you see in this picture, we call superficial ligaments of the stomach, otherwise vertical ligaments. But stomach, except vertical, have also deep ligaments, otherwise horizontal ligaments. Let's start from horizontal. Now imagine that I am the stomach. This is my posterior wall. He is the pancreas, head of the pancreas. Between me and him, there are two ligaments. One is started from my body to him. We call it gastropancreatic. Second started from pylorus to him. We call it pyloropancreatic. Why they need it? I told you before that all sources of supplement located in retroperitoneal space. And vessels will come to peritoneal cavity inside of the ligaments. Which vessels? Deepest. For example, first one, it is the left gastric artery, which is originated from truncus celiacus. Second one, it is common hepatic artery, which also will come to the stomach to give the branches to him. As I remember, please, both the ligaments, it is nutritional ligament. They provide the biggest arteries from retroperitoneal space to the peritoneal cavity. Second group of the ligaments we call superficial ligaments, otherwise we call vertical ligaments. Vertical ligaments have different meanings. It is not only nutritional as these, it is also suspensor. By the way, these superficial ligaments accumulated in the region of the margins of the stomach. Look at please, this is lesser curvature. There are two ligaments as many two fingers. Yeah, upwards we have hepatogastric, lowerwards we have hepatoduodenal. Hepatoduodenal belong not only to duodenum, it is belong to stomach also. Because inside of this ligament, as you remember, we have right gastric artery, which is supplying the lesser curvature of the stomach also. Let's continue. Three ligaments, as you can see in the picture, located in the greater curvature. And upper one more ligament, it is suspensor ligament. We call it phrenic gastric. I suggest you to call the ligaments in such a way that in first position will be put in upper structure, in second position lower structure. So we don't say usually gastrophrenic. We say phrenicogastric. Because diaphragm located higher than the stomach. They say that name is better. You don't say gastrohepatic, you say hepatogastric. So in first position you put high structure. In second position you put lower structure. Remember. Let's continue. Another two ligaments. Look here, please. Little bit down. We have the gastrosplenic. Here, both is located in the same level. And the last one is gastrocolic, from the stomach up to the transverse colon. This is uppermost portion of your greater omentum. As you remember, in the level of transverse colon, this ligament doesn't finish. It is descended to down. Usually below the umbilicus it is reached and turn the back. That's a usual ligaments of peritoneal cavity. It is double layers. But greater omentum, it is 4 layers. 2 layers descended, 2 layers ascended, but adults doesn't have any cavity between these layers because they are fused to each other. And all these mentioned ligaments, except the uppermost one, it is nutritional ligaments. Let's describe what we have inside of them. Main attention, starting from the lesser curvature. Inside of the main part of the hepatogastric ligament, we have left gastric artery, which is from truncus coronarius. In the opposite direction, from down to up, we have right gastric
From
artery.
hepatic.
From, he is absolutely right, it is branch, no. It is branch of the proper hepatic artery, not common one. Common, look to me. Common gives the gastroduodenal branch and become the proper. You understand me? Common gives the gastroduodenal branch and become the proper. Proper gives, as our friends say, right gastric artery. Which is inside of hepatoduodenal ligament, goes to upwards, and in midpoint approximately, it forms anastomose. We call it arterial arch of the lesser curvature. One more arterial arch we have in the greater curvature. A little after we will discuss it also. Okay, very well. This I remember. Please, in the level of your lesser curvature, there are 2 vessels. From up to down, left gastric artery, from down to up, right gastric. There are same name veins. 2 veins, it is right and left gastric veins. Now 1 minute attention to this picture. Here guys, caval system drawn by blue color, portal system is drawn by violet color to little bit identify them from each other. And if you will look in this lesser curvature, you will see one common vein, which is formed by junction of 2 veins, right and left. We call it coronal vein of the stomach. And look what is happened. It is drained into the ready portal vein. Not in splenic, not in superior mesenteric, not in inferior mesenteric, but in the ready portal vein. Do you understand it or not? Very well. Now let's come to the greater curvature. You remember here we have 2 nutritional ligaments, yes? It is gastrosplenic ligament and gastrocolic ligament. Inside of them we have vessels. First of all, uppermost vessels, 3, sometimes 4, it is short gastric arteries. They come from splenic artery inside of gastrosplenic ligament. Next artery, important artery, it is left gastroepiploic artery. Absolutely same origin, but it is started in gastrosplenic ligament, then goes to the gastrocolic ligament. You can see along the greater curvature, it is descending downwards. And in opposite direction, look, one another artery becomes, which we call right gastrocolic. It is the branch of the gastroduodenum. Do you remember this, my fingers, I say? Common hepatic gives the gastroduodenal, come to proper hepatic. This gastroduodenal again divides into two. One, my finger, goes to the stomach, greater curvature, we call right gastroepiploic. Second, I draw it for you. It is pancreatoduodenal superior artery, yeah? We just come to the pancreas of duodenum up to papilloduodenum minor. And this is pancreatoduodenal inferior, which is come to clinic, of course, which is come to below papilloduodenum minor, from superior mesothelium. What about venous drainage? Look here, please. Everything is simple. Arteries which start from splenic artery will provide its same name veins into splenic vein. That is very simple. Exceptionally, right gastroepiploid vein will be drained into superior mesenteric vein. Because it is come from gastroduodenal vein. Gastroduodenal vein drain into the superior mesenteric vein. Idea is understandable for you. Remember forever, guys. This is very important. What else we have inside of the ligament? Inside of the ligament, we have so-called intra-organic lymphatic nodes. Intra-organic lymphatic nodes located along the greater curvature, along the lesser. It is the first stage of the lymphatic drainage. That's it. If there are the cancers of the stomach, all these lymphatic nodes should be removed. We will study it in the future. 90% of stomach cancers give the metastasis lymphogenously, by lymphatic system, not by vessels, hematogenous way, but by lymphatic way. Next group of the lymphatic nodes located in the mesenteries, in greater mesentery, in lesser mesentery. Next group of lymphatic nodes, it is the lymphatic nodes which is located in posterior wall, along the mesentery of the small intestine. And finally, last group of lymphatic nodes, it is retroperitoneal. From retroperitoneal, it goes into the ducts, and by the ducts finally drain into our caval venous system. Caval, ductus thoracicus drain into the superior caval vein. As you remember, we studied the neck region, yeah? You remember, scalena vertebral triangle. This is the place of the drainage of the lymphatic ducts. Innervation. Again, anatomy. You know the stomach receive innervation from vagus parasympathetical and from plexus sympathicus, truncus sympathicus, mainly plexus coeliacus, which is located in front of the truncus coeliacus, T11, T12. And it is originated from the upper thoracical segments of the sympathetical trunks. How it happened? I want to remind you that your two vaguses, starting from esophageal level, located in that case anteriorly left one, posteriorly right one. Left one we call anterior trunk, right one we call posterior trunk. They come to the stomach, left is supply mainly interior wall, right is supply posterior wall. They give the branches to the liver, they give the branches to the plexus coeliacus to form the splanchic nerves. By the way, vagus make activation of the stomach, peristaltical activation and activation of production of the stomach juice. That's why we have special method of the surgery, vagotomy. We will study it together. Why? To prevent formation of the new ulcers, we cut the vagus to decrease production of the acid by the stomach. Because vagus activated this production.
Yes.
This is about stomach. Do you have any questions? If no questions, let's continue. Now look in the picture, and let's start to speak about second organ, which is called duodenum. About stomach, we say, guys, stomach, it is intraperitoneal structure. It is covered by peritoneum from all the sides. By the way, There are only two narrow pieces of stomach without peritoneum.
Yes, lesser
Along the
junction.
lesser, along the greater. Place of attachment. If my hand come to him and must be touched, of course here will be free place. Thank you very much. Otherwise, how vessels and nerves will go on supply? But ligaments attached to the greater curvature, ligaments attached to the lesser curvature. So along these margins, we will have so-called pars nuda, free spaces, without peritoneal coverage. But duodenum has another situation. Now look please here. Superior horizontal portion of the duodenum, approximately 4 centimeters in the length. It is continuation of the pyloric aperture of the stomach. It has horizontal location, level of L1, approximately 4 centimeters length, approximately 2.5 centimeters of the diameter. These 4 centimeters divided into two parts. 2/3 anterior is intraperitoneal, 1/3 distal, it is mesoperitoneal. Remember please, only this blue portion of the duodenum is intraperitoneal. It means movable. All another parts of the duodenum, it is fixed, unmovable. Now imagine that you make resection of stomach. For example, in case of ulcer, I am stomach, here's duodenum. I want to make anastomosis between stomach and duodenum. When I can do it? If superior horizontal part is kept. Because I told you before that I can connect it only movable structure. If I cut this superior horizontal part, what I must do? I must do closing by suturing, and I must to make anastomosis between stomach and jejunum. Because on stomach and jejunum goes obvious movable structure. So remember, this is important. Days after, in next week, next to next week, we will start to study the surgeries, and we will of course remember that's only one chance to make communication anastomosis if superior horizontal part is kept, if it's not removed. Because we can have ulcer in superior horizontal part of duodenum, not only stomach. We have duodenal ulcers, and we have stomach ulcers. And if superior horizontal part of duodenum is removed, sorry, no any chance. By the way, connection between stomach and duodenum we call Bilrod 1 surgery. Connection between stomach and jejunum we call Bilrod 2 surgery. After all, okay, let's continue. Then you see formation of the first flexura of the duodenum between superior horizontal and descending parts. Descending part, it is the longest part of your duodenum, 7-8 centimeters. It is starting in the level of L1 and come up to the level of L3. Absolutely extra peritoneal structure. It is covered by peritoneum only from in front. Then you can see it is made one more flexura. This is superior flexura, this is inferior flexura. And in this inferior flexura, it is come to the pink portion, which is called inferior horizontal portion. Approximately equal to the superior one, same 4 centimeters, same diameter, absolutely extraperitoneal. This I remember, except superior horizontal portion, all other portions is extraperitoneal. Then without formation of good visible flexura, it is become to ascending part. Ascending part is the shortest part. Ascending part from the level of L3 becomes to the level of L2, and you can see last flexura, flexura duodenum jejunum. Let's say superior flexura L1, inferior flexura L3, and flexura duodenum jejunalis L2 between the duodenum and between the jejunum. This is about skeletotopy and the portions and the relation by the peritoneum. Now let's come to the syncope. To describe the syncope, guys, you will remember this picture, horseshoe, which is formed by duodenum, and head of the pancreas, which is located inside of this horseshoe. Now imagine that the duodenum mainly located in regular peritoneal space. What will be in front of it? Now look here please, approximately in the level of midline of the descending part of the duodenum, we have mesentery of transverse colon. Mesentery of transverse colon divided this descending duodenum into two portions, upper and lower. in front of upper portion of your duodenum, retroperitoneal, mainly will be transverse colon, transverse mesocolon, stomach. In front of inferior portion of your duodenum, mainly will be the loops of small intestine. Because small intestines we have only below the transverse colon. We don't have it above the transverse colon. That's why remember, please, upper portion in front, we have transverse colon, mesocolon, stomach. Lower portion in front, we have the loops of the small intestine. What is behind of your duodenum? Behind of duodenum, we have several structures. First of all, behind of superior horizontal portion of the duodenum, we have the second part of the choledo, which we call retroduodenal portion. You remember, choledo has four portions: supraduodenal, retroduodenal, pancreatic, and intramural, inside of the wall of the stomach. That's like behind we will have. Also behind of it we will have big vessels. We have superior mesenteric vessels, inferior mesenteric vessels. We will have the inferior colon vein, aorta abdominalis. They will be behind of the duodenum. Left to the duodenum, you can see we have the pancreas. Right to the duodenum, we have the right middle transverse colon and ascending colon. Located right. This is all symptomatic. Above the superior horizontal part of the duodenum, we have the body of the gallbladder. It is located, and fundus of the gallbladder. It is located just above the superior horizontal part of the duodenum. Below the duodenum, we have the small intestine. That's all. Let's continue. About now arterial supplement of the innervation and venous drainage. Arteries, two arteries. Superior pancreatoduodenal artery, inferior pancreatoduodenal artery. One up to, above papilloduodenal, second below. Both veins, superior pancreatoduodenal and inferior, drain into superior mesenteric vein, which is one of three veins which behind of the head of pancreas forms the portal vein. Function of duodenum. Now, innervation, it is come safely to the stomach. Vagus gives the parasympathetical innervation, the plexus soleus gives the sympathetical innervation. About the function, now look in this picture. For example, here it is good visible that two ducts joined to each other. I think I have much more bigger here. For example, two ducts joined to each other. Upper one, it is the intramural portion. Lower one, it is the main duct of the pancreas. Pancreatica. Ampulla duodenum pancreatica open on the tip of papilla duodeni major, and it is covered by smooth muscular sphincter, which is called Oddi sphincter. By the way, each duct have its own sphincter also. Let's say here we have three sphincters. Two, it is separated sphincter. By the way, main pancreatic duct we call Wirsung duct. Remember this alter name, Wirsung. Let's say Wirsung duct has its own smooth muscles. Intramural portion of the choledo have its own sphincter, and they join to each other, and all this sphincter, it is common sphincter, which is surrounded both these structures. And here we can have synchronical and asynchronical work of these ducts. What does it mean? If all these sphincters will be relaxed, both these juice will flow inside of the duodenum. Of course, it connected with the type of the food. Is it more fatty? Is it more protein content? Is it more sugar content? It's connected with that. If one from these sphincters will be closed, but common sphincter will be open, only one juice will come to outside. For example, pancreatic duct is closed, common bile duct together with the bile sphincter will be open, only bile will be closed. For example, you eat something very fatty for emulgation of the fat screening. Another problem about which Hamza is saying, if for example ampulla hepatopancreatica will be blocked by the concrements, possibly bile will come to ampulla, and from ampulla will reflux into the main pancreatic duct. Awful problem, which is one of the main causes of formation of acute pancreatitis, because ferments of the pancreas activated by bile. And this activation should be happening inside normally of the lumen of the duodenum, not inside of the pancreas. If this activation happen in the pancreas, pancreas eats itself. Damage the tissue by its own ferments. That is awful. This is what I want to give you about duodenum. Now let's speak about pancreas. I don't know how many minutes, 3-4 minutes I have. Generally, you know, your pancreas has three main parts. This is the head, this is the body, this is the tail. Generally, pancreas, it is extraperitoneal organ. It's located behind of the peritoneum in retroperitoneal space. One exception, it is the tail. Tail of the pancreas located inside of big ligament, which we call pancreatosplenic ligament. And in this pancreatosplenic ligament, look to me. This is tail of the pancreas. This is hilum of the spleen. Tail of pancreas reach out to the hilum of spleen. Between them, there are 1 centimeter distance. So if you will make the, for example, splenectomy and will put by mistake your arterial forceps on the tail, it will give the diabetes. Diabetes mellitus. Because you will damage the Langerhans cells, which is productive your insulin. About supplement, about the another questions, we will speak next time. Yeah, I will do my best. But anyhow, self-independently, it's nothing hard. Do you have any questions? 1 minute. Say me date.